Okay. Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Come on. Good, come on. All right, we have two good Scotch whiskies, and that's about all they have in common. This is J.W. Dant, white cap, label with red and black and gold. J.W. Dant. They're trying to mimic, J.B., Justin Rennie and Brooks, J and B. But anyway, this company was founded in 1836. It's a bourbon company. They don't make Scotch, but they have it made for them. It's not an independent company. It's owned by Heaven Hill. They used to, pay somebody to make Scotch to put under their brand, and now Heaven Hill owns it and does the same thing. So it's bottled by Heaven Hill. This is a liter bottle. Believe it or not, I got this liter bottle of blended Scotch whiskey, aged 3 years, from Dorknack's food store in Metairie, Louisiana for $8.99. Crazy, right? $8.99. And I've been getting through it over the last 4 or 5 years, 4 years. Says there's a big essay on the back. If you're waiting to check out, because they don't have self-checkout at Dorknack's, you can read the essay about the past, history of Scotch whiskey. So it's interesting. You being babyish. Here is here's the one that's been competing against everybody in this tournament. This is Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition, 100 proof, so 80 proof, 3-year age, 100 proof, no age statement, non-chill filtered, introduced in 2013. This liter bottle, so both liter bottles, $8.99. This liter bottle was $27. I bought this in St. Tammany Parish at a store called Equista Paces. Real cork. Real cork. You want to smell that? Strong, huh? It's not something you want to drink. Okay, put the cork back in. I'm going to smell this. Woo. Strong, huh? Somebody's sitting in on this challenge, you see. Making like purring sounds. Okay, just sit down right there. How about you rest right there? All you got to do is just stay right there. You don't have to do anything. How about that? That'll be perfect. Oh, got it even. One of the rare occasions. Gold, just gold, light gold really, and some amber gold. Some, oh, you're going to sit by the window, huh? So I'm going to have to mix them up and not look. Because if I glance at the lighter one or the dark one, I'm going to know which is which. And I want it to be a true taste challenge. And some of my viewers are starting to make their own video channels, and they're starting to copy the ideology of a blind taste test, which is the only true way. If you know what you're drinking, it's going to influence you, even if or there's a high potential that it will, even though you are going to say you're not biased. And I would say the same thing. I don't care who wins, Budweiser, Miller High Life, doesn't matter to me. But it's just, it's a bad idea to know which is which. You want to do it blind. All right. Sweet grains, a little compost. That must be the Cutty Sark. know, that peatiness. I don't recall Dance having that characteristic, but I could just, my memory could be faulty. I haven't had Dance in probably 5 months, 4 months. Maybe I do this 3 times a year. I probably get around to blended Scotch 3 times a year, right? Every 4 months. Okay. Can't say that it'd be more common, you know, more often than that. I've been doing more taste challenges lately, and I want to watch it. Don't want to get out of hand. You know, people say, "Oh, you're gonna get like, oh, gonna get impacted by that. You're gonna ruin your health, get decrepit out of it." No, there's always that. There's always that potential when you're dealing with a dangerous product, useful but dangerous, like fire. You can cook with fire and you can burn your house down with it. But you can enjoy liquor as taste challenges and such as that. Research the brands, the history. It's all interesting. And you can, you know, get involved in problem drinking, which would be a big problem. That's why I try to do just a little thin amount, just enough to taste it, which seems to suffice. Not getting that compost pile thing going on. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. $18 difference per liter, you know. That's strong. I got it wrong last night when I did King Robert II versus Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. I had them mixed up. I was embarrassed, but I couldn't tell them apart really. And so, you know, the rule there, if you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Carlo Rossi's philosophy. So King Robert II blended Scotch won by default. But anyway, that's not a bad product. It's won 3 medals in the last few years that they're showing. In 2019, it won a silver medal at an international competition. So it's got a following, and it's got some regard. And those challenges are done blind also. Those taste challenges, like when you see the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, they're not saying, oh, look, here's Cutty Sark. What do you think? No, they're saying, try this Scotch. That's all. They might give them, say, like, it's a blended Scotch. It's 80 proof. All of these are 80 proof blended Scotch, something like that. They have to write down notes and pick the winner. Then later it's revealed, oh, you picked Cutty Sark as the best. Oh, really? I can't believe it. Wouldn't have suspected it. You know, you see something like that. This one has honey, bread, multigrain bread, because it's a multigrain product, right? Corn, malted barley, could be other grains like wheat. But typically, Scotch would just be barley. And if it's blended Scotch, they'll have grain whiskey, which is usually corn. Doesn't have to be. Wouldn't matter because it's just going to be column stilled and distilled to a clear, odorless, colorless liquid, which is going to be a grain neutral spirit. The flavor is going to come from the single malts. Speyside, Highland, Lowland, Isla, Campbelltown, you see. And all age a minimum of 3 years. That's got to be the Dance. Is it good? Yeah, it's kind of bland, you know, but there's no foul or off yucky flavors. $8.99 for a liter, and it's bland. I can live with that. Now, is it really a sipper? Well, you can sip it. I'm doing that actually at the moment. But I guess most people buy it as a mixer. And it's the same price as American blended, Canadian blended, Irish blended. Well, Irish blended is expensive. Forget that. Scratch that. I don't ever see any really cheap Irish. Canadian, American, and Scotch. I don't know how Scotch can be that cheap. But $8.99 a liter, that's your bottom rung, super cheap, minimal age products, you know. You can get T.W. Samuels. Well, I don't know though. I paid $8.99 for a 750 on that, not a liter. But you can get some. You can find American blended whiskey for $8.99 a liter. Yes, like Clubhouse from Heaven Hill. You say, boy, I bet that tastes cheap. It does. It is cheap. And they're using unaged grain spirits. They don't even have a rule in the U.S. that they have to age it 3 years. So, yeah. But you can get Canadian ones cheap. Shoot, $5.96 at Walmart for a fifth, 750 milliliter bottle of Caliber Canadian blended whiskey. Yeah. Is it a sipper? Like I said about this one, I mean, you could sip it, but I guess most people are buying it to mix. I don't know why they wouldn't just buy vodka for a mixer, because what do you do? It seems like the flavor gets overridden by people saying, well, I'm adding simple syrup, maraschino cherry juice, I'm adding Peychaud's bitters, I'm adding a lime wedge, I'm adding all of this. And I'm like, well, are you going to really taste the liquor anyway? If you're going to override it with all these added flavors and ice, and you got a little umbrella and a cherry on top, well, if you got to have that 80 proof, well, just use vodka. We can get the vodka for the same price as the Caliber, $5.96 Caliber vodka. Well, but maybe you say, well, the Canadian whiskey flavor comes through and it adds to the flavors. Okay. I don't drink cocktails, so I can't competently comment on it. I'm just thinking about it, I know cocktails are very popular. There's a television show in New Orleans and a radio show once a week called Tales of the Cocktail, and that's all they talk about. There's a cocktail interactive museum in New Orleans called the Sazerac House. That's all it's about. And it's interactive because you can choose which bartender to go to. It's, a virtual bartender, and they'll tell you about the product. Then you get to try the different cocktails they have that day, whatever one they choose into the show, and you can interact. And then you talk to the people, and they let you taste or smell the different spices and everything. So it's interesting to see. And I've tried the cocktails, and they're very nice, but I don't drink. I just don't drink them. I know that now that Myers is rum. Sazerac's always touting Myers is rum, a very dark rum. It's excellent for rum cocktails. Now there's a new Myers is it's a silver label, not the white rum. There is Myers is white rum. I know where to buy it, but there's it's not too common. There's a new one. It's a barrel age, but it's like, it's weird. It's like bourbon barrel age or something. It's strange. Sazerac, they always coming up with something crazy, So we know there's 3 Myers is on the market now. I've had the original. They got Early Times, owned by Sazerac today also. But now if you look around, there's an Early Times bottled in bond, a cobalt blue label, bottled in bond, 100 proof. You say, well, I looked at the website. They don't even talk about bottled in bond. I know, but it exists because there it is on the shelf at Dornax. So, hey, I haven't tried it. I'd like to, but I got too much backstock. I don't see an $18 difference here. Honestly, I wouldn't pay $18 extra. You could, but I wouldn't. I mean, I did because I wanted to try it, but on a regular basis, no, I wouldn't do it. I'd just get the Dance. Is it inferior? Yeah, it's inferior. But I'm willing to make the trade-off. I'd be willing to make the trade-off. If I can save $18 per bottle, what I'm losing, $5 worth of quality? Yeah, definitely. Here it is. Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. Got it. Yeah. And what gave it away? Not really the strength. You think it would be the 100 proof, but it wasn't. It was the fact that it's has that compost, that peaty, I call it a compost pile. You say, well, that's rotted vegetable matter. It's disgusting. I know. What do you think peat is? Read about peat, what they make the peat fires from. Hey, how about if you don't claw the carpet? That's a good idea. Don't scratch the carpet and destroy things. All right. Talking to the cat. Please stop. Well, now she's really going crazy. Okay, well, anyway. All right. Thanks, everybody. Y'all take care now. Got it right. We'll be back for Friday with Dewar's, the world famous #1 selling Scotch in the United States. The Dewar's White Label, introduced in 1899. The only thing that changed with its recipe was it used to be 86.6 proof and now it's 80 proof. So they didn't change the ingredients. They just added more water. That's how they bring the proof down. Just add more water. It's still a recipe change because it's a higher percentage of water. But it's not an ingredients change. Same thing with Jack Daniels. They just went from 90 proof to 86 proof to 80 proof by just adding more water slowly over the late 80s to early 2000s and hoping nobody would notice. And apparently hardly anybody did notice. All right. Thanks, y'all.